Okay. And just record for a backup. And I'm gonna, oop. Okay, there I am. I'm spotlighted for everyone. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining on this beautiful Sunday morning. And let me share my screen. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So today is mostly going to be focused on, doing the hot takes on people's natal charts. So it's called Celestial Insights on Your Moon Story. So this is the first time I'm doing this one. So I hope you enjoy it. But I just love talking to people about their charts and being more interactive. So that's what we're going to do today. So, for people who are new to me, I'm Celeste Brooks. I'm an astrologer, coach, and a podcaster. I specialize in natal, so birth charts, horary, the astrology of the hour, where people can ask a question and I cast a chart, and it can give you insight into what's happened most recently, what's most likely to happen next. It's amazing. And mundane astrology, which is the astrology of worldly events. So if everyone can let me know in the chat where you are calling in from or zooming in from, as well as how you found me. I love to know, the tools that I'm using, what's working, what's not. And yeah, as well as if you have any questions. My assistant's not here today. It's a holiday weekend, so I so appreciate everyone joining. So if you can come off mute and ask me questions, or you can put them in the chat and I'll respond to them when I send out the recording and what have you. But I can't, it's hard for me to monitor the chat and talk at the same time. So I just ask that, just feel free to come off mute if you have a pressing question, but I'll stop at times to see if anyone has any. So I'm a founder of the Moon Mastery Program, which you'll hear about a little bit later, as well as my podcast, Celestial Insights, is available everywhere. I'm a Taurus sun, so I'm very practical and grounded, but I have an Aries moon, which gives me a little fire and feistiness. I really like to, when we do these things, to have some fun with everything that we're doing. And I'd like to encourage people to take some, calculated risks in their own lives to expand and grow. And a Cancer rising. So always want to have a safe space where people feel comfortable to share and feel safe and nurtured. I'm an avid reader. I've had my face in a book since I was a kid, and I'm a foodie. And I have a lot of 11th house planets, 5 to be exact. So growing community is part of what my natal promise is here to do. So I love having people in community. My background is I spent over 25 years in corporate America, and I was part of the Great Resignation last year, where I had a Uranus transit, and Uranus awakens us, Uranus over my sun. And Saturn was squaring my sun, Saturn conjunction. Uranus awakens us to different ways that life can be. And so I decided to take the risk, and you can think of the Fool card, and, retired early from my corporate career to pursue my passion and I think this is my calling, why I'm here, what I'm here to do, to help people through the tool of astrology. Great. So you can find me on my website, astrologybyceleste.com. I do bi-monthly newsletters about the new and full moon, as well as I send out goodies sometimes, as well as updates on where I'm speaking or what I'm doing. So since you're signed up, you'll be on my list, but you can always unsubscribe if you don't want to be. Class starts on the 12th of September, which is next Monday for Moon Mastery. Also, you can work with me by doing a personal reading. I do, one-on-one readings as well as couples readings and things like that. You can book me for events. I do corporate events, bachelorettes, family things, whatever. And our coaching, if you want to work with me one-on-one for a longer term, we can do that as well. As well as I do mystic mentoring for people trying to sharpen their astrology skills. Okay, and Instagram Live is my main platform. I'm live there Sundays and Mondays. So I love this quote: nurturing is not complex. It's simply being tuned into the thing or person before you and offering small gestures towards what it needs at that time, by Marianne Radmacher. She's an author. And this is such a great quote for Virgo season. And Venus is going to move into Virgo later today. And like how small gestures of, just taking out the garbage or making someone, their favorite meal, or things like that. Like little gestures can help people feel nurtured and held. And think about how you can do little gestures for yourself as well to make yourself feel nurtured, because that's what our moon sign speaks about: how we need to be nurtured, what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel secure, and all of these sorts of things. So the agenda for today, just going to give some basics about building your moon story, give an example of astrology in action, and then talk about the Moon Mastery Program, and then do participants' hot takes. Okay. Oh, let me get my note sheet. Okay. Now, Mercury is in the retrograde pre-shadow. So if I misspeak, please let me know. You can let me know. Yes. Okay. So just a reminder about the moon. The moon is a mirror. She has no light of her own. She simply reflects the sun's light back. So the sun and the moon are the luminaries. The sun is our conscious mind. The moon is our subconscious mind. And the moon has rulership over our emotions and our feelings. It's also about our instincts and reactivity, especially how we react to stressful situations. It speaks to our needs and our habits. It holds all memory. So people with strong water energy, especially like people who have strong Cancer energy, can remember things that happened, whatever, 20 years ago. The moon holds all of our memories. Yeah, it speaks to our sense of belonging or lack thereof, how we magnetize things to ourselves, and our receptivity, how we draw things in. It's very yin rather than the sun, yang pushing out. Also talks about how we bond with others. So the natal moon in our natal chart, we're talking about, how we need to nurture ourselves. It gives us insights as well into our talents, as well as our blind spots. And when you understand your natal moon better, you can articulate your needs to loved ones better, as well as understand what they need, as well as it's a wonderful tool for people with children to help understand how their children. Often, we have a different moon sign or placement than our children, and really knowing how they need to be nurtured in a different way can be really helpful. As well as you can recognize your reactivity, and that can help you with taming self-sabotaging patterns. Yeah. And if you're born at night, if you're born at night, it's just the moon is under the horizon on the natal chart. It can be even more impactful. Your moon sign, you can relate to it sometimes more than your sun sign, because it's a thing called sect. So it can be especially important. So when you're unpacking your moon sign, your moon story, you can think about what is the zodiac sign your moon is in? What is the nature of it? Its element, is it fire, earth, air, water? Is its mode, is it cardinal, which is initiating energy, or is it fixed, which is more energy that holds the energy, or mutable, like this changeable, adaptable energy? Or polarity, is it yin, inward, or yang, outward, pushing energy? Then you can think about what house it's in and the nature of the house that it's in. Is it in a house that's associated with fire, earth, air, water? And that's what we're going to be focusing on today, but the story goes deeper than that. It's also what planets are talking to your moon. What are the aspects, as well as what phase were you born in of the moon? What was the relationship between the sun and the moon when you were born? That also speaks to your personality and your nature. Yeah, so this is we're going to focus today on like thinking about the elemental story of your natal moon and thinking about what will nurture it. So if you were born with your moon in a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or if your moon is in the first, fifth, or ninth houses of the natal chart, these are associated more in modern astrology with the fire energy. The first house of the self, the fifth house of create, how you create joy for yourself in your life, and the ninth house of exploration. So this is a yang energy. And you can think about, in order to feel nurtured, that there needs to be a sense of being able to assert yourself, being able to like to take action for yourself, like having some independence. People with fire moons often like it makes them feel alive and safe and whatever, nurtured and more happy and joyful when they can like have some challenges in life, having a goal to attain, to reach for, can be really emotionally fulfilling. Like being physical can really help them, help them feel grounded, feel more balanced and safe and nurtured. Now, some of the shadows of having a fire moon can be like being impulsive, like leaping before you look, like outbursts, like really like blah, or like saying things where you put your foot in your mouth, or just being very quick to act, or like being reckless can be a shadow side, or overly dramatic of these when people have their moon in a fire sign and potentially also in a fire house. So let me pause there. And if there are any questions, you could just come off mute and ask. Just want to make sure that makes sense to people.
Celeste, so when you're going through like, and so I have Virgo in the ninth house in my moon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking on the practicality and all that stuff of the Virgo moon, but then it's also kind of has the elements of like this independence and stuff like that. Like you merge the two.
Yes. Do
In the
you
ninth
feel
house.
that?
Yeah, like it makes sense. But and especially, the Sagittarius vibes of like the outbursts, like I'm very blunt sometimes and stuff like that. Or I'll just, say something and I'll be like, oh, I think I just put my foot in my mouth.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can blend blend the two and think about how it relates to your reactivity,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and what makes you feel really comfortable, and yes, and and feel alive and safe and nurtured and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't really known that you're supposed to kind of blend that house in this way. So that's great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I found that, yeah, it's pretty accurate with the placement. Where is really important, not just the sign. Uh, yeah, so with Earth moons, that's a great question. Thank you so much for that. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is the yin. Earth energy is yin, and a lot of times when people with Earth moons will go right into problem solving mode when they they're under stress. There's this need to feel useful, a desire for stability. So you can think about how the fire moon maybe likes more challenge, whereas the Earth moon likes more stability, or the fire moon likes more excitement, where the Earth moon is more concerned with stability or achievement versus challenge. So there's differences in how these moons like to be nurtured and supported. And so you can think, especially like if you are dealing with someone, or you have an Earth moon and the other person has a fire moon, and you get annoyed because they're trying to fix your problem, where you just want them to maybe like let you kind of get really dramatic about your problem. Just understanding the difference and maybe just talking through it with the person about how I just need you to just like hear me out and let me just express, let me yang you with what I'm feeling right now. I don't need you to solve it. Can be like just having these simple conversations can help build your relationships. And these are also the houses of the second house is about our personal resources. The sixth house is about our daily life, how we serve, also can be about health topics, especially things that go wrong with our health. And the 10th house about our status and our career and whatnot. So yeah. So some shadows of Earth moons is scarcity mindset, being really too stubborn and stuck in on your perception of how things should be, and getting into like being overly critical. So I have an Aries moon in the 10th house. So I have this meld of like this fire, like enjoying taking risks, but I can get into like that scarcity consciousness. And I do emotionally like get excited, but then go into like some kind of problem solving. So I can really feel the mix of the two within my own self as well. Yeah. And then for the air moons, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And so these are also the 3rd, 7th, and 11th house. The 3rd house is about how we communicate, how we think and communicate. The 3rd house is, I hope I said 3rd house. The 7th house, the partner, how we partner with others, our one-on-one relationships. And the 11th house, we're thinking about groups, associations, friends, hopes and dreams, our vision, and that sort of thing. And so again, this is yang, but it's very different than the fire, because there is this curiosity. I think I spelled curious wrong. Oops. Like there's a kid with a air moon is always, that's the kid that asks why, there's just this deep understanding, to understand this deep need. You can think about how the moon is about our needs, the need to understand things, to make sense of them. There's also like a desire for connection and like talking things out, or sometimes, especially with Aquarius moons, or maybe more like just intellectually processing emotions rather than feeling them. So when someone has an air moon, they're like learning how to potentially, depending on what it's doing in the chart, learning how to take the time to like get out of your head and into your body. And because our feelings are, we can really feel them, especially in our gut. And physically, so like there can be medicine for that can be to really try to take some time to feel your feelings. Yeah. So some shadows of the air moon can be being anxious or scattered when you get reactive, or just detaching from the situation and just over intellectualizing things. Any questions? Okay.
As a Gemini moon, I feel very seen and attacked at the same time.
Well, we're not trying to make you feel attacked, but
I
just,
know.
yeah,
That anxious,
just
scattered. Yeah, that anxious, scattered, detached. Oh my God. It's so true.
So just recognizing that, it can tell you, okay, I'm feeling these things. So how can I help my moon? How can I nurture my moon? What will make my moon feel better? So for that, I would say, think about your breath. There's this breath app. There are a bunch of them where you can just put on this thing on your phone to just breathe with it for a minute. And it is amazing how much that can calm your nervous system. Or just saying, okay, I'm going to just get up and go for a walk around the block or whatever. Finding tools first you recognize the issue, then you put in the tool to help yourself calm down. Now, and then for water moons, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, also you can think about the 4th house of home, family, and foundations. This is the most private house in our chart. It's the lowest one. Yeah. And then the 8th house is deep psychological processes. It deals with intimacy and things like that. Our shadows of our psyche. And the 12th house of secrets and self-undoing, all of that, the collective unconsciousness, all of that kind of stuff. These water houses. Water is mute. So there's a lot of times with water, a difficulty putting things into words, but there's this psychically sensing things. Just like people with strong water energy or water moon can just know how other people are feeling without them saying anything. And they can, you may respond better, especially like if you have a child or a loved one with a water moon, they may respond better with just a touch, like they just want you to sit with them or hold their hand or, hug them or something, rather than solve any problems or get all agitated about it and spin out about and get dramatic about it or talk about it. They just may want to be together silently. And yeah, people with water moons have a lot of, or their moon in a water house have a lot of intuition, just a knowing or a sensing. Yeah, but some shadows can be like secretive or not expressing what's going on, or getting too lost in the water or overcome by the waves of emotions and depression, or isolating oneself, just like wanting to be alone, which is healthy to a certain degree, but just taking yourself away from connection with others can be to your detriment. So you can think about that. So if you have a water moon and you feel like, okay, I'm isolating myself, I'm not reaching out, I'm not doing anything, how can I seek connection with someone? Or how can I, and just let them know what I need? I don't want to talk about it, but I just want to sit together and spend some time together, or get a hug. You can always ask for a hug. For people, it's appropriate to ask for a hug from. So these are some of the basics you can think about what your natal moon needs, first by the sign, but also consider the house that it's in, and and that elemental nature. And this is just a summary of the houses, and you could just take a picture of it or what have you. Okay, So the example I wanted to use was Angelina Jolie. And she's a really interesting person. And one of the things that's so interesting about her chart, see how she has all of the personal planets, her sun, her moon, her Venus, her Mercury and Mars are all above the horizon. So like when people have a lot of planets above the horizon, it's like what you see is what you get, although her Venus is technically in the 12th house, which is kind of a locked up place. But she really has kind of lived her life out loud and in the public. And you can see she has this moon in Aries, this fiery moon, and she's a very fiery person. Yeah, she's an action hero from like the Lara Croft movies is where she really kind of took off. She's got this independent nature. The moon rules our relationships as well. And she was married to Billy Bob Thornton, but she had adopted her first child, and he wasn't jiving with it. And so she chose motherhood, Cancer rising, over marriage with that, and was fine to just go alone on her own to be a single parent. Yeah. And it's in the sign of Aries, the I am. She's very clear on who she is. And you can see how her moon is next to Mars, and Mars severs and separates. She has a very strong Mars, but like one of the things she was doing when she was younger and experiencing a lot of emotional turmoil is she was cutting herself. And she's talked about that emotionally she was doing this self-destructive kind of reckless behavior to try to make herself feel better. And her moon is also next to Jupiter. So she was in that movie with Winona Ryder where they were all in the mental health facility. I forget what it's called. But anyway, that moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Aries, you'll see often that actors take on parts that, you can see it in their chart, like this very dramatic, big, Jupiter makes everything bigger, big emotional outburst she was having in this movie. You can really see that. Yeah. Also dramatic demonstrations of her love. There was one of her boyfriends or husbands where they were each kind of like cutting themselves and merging their blood kind of thing. Yeah. And she also has her moon in a square to Saturn in the 12th house. So the 12th house, we can speak to the 12th house being around some self-undoing or addictions and dependencies. And she has in the past struggled with depression and drug addiction. So I think she's a great example of someone who's had a real struggle with managing their emotions and learning how to deal with their moon, but has come and been able to have a very successful life where now she has, 6 children. She's had this amazing career. She's got this 9th house nature to her moon. Her moon's in the 9th house, and she is very concerned. The 9th house is a house of like long distance travel, cultures different than our own, like spirituality, higher learning things. But she's been an ambassador with the UN for refugees. She's very emotionally concerned and takes action to help people who are moon in a trine with Neptune. Neptune, you can think about how their Neptune loss, how people without a home, the moon also rules home, these refugees because of war, Mars and Aries, this Aries theme. I mean, it's just so literal in her chart. She's also very, very close to was very, very close to her own mother who passed. And the 10th house ruler is the mother. And so she has Aries here. So Mars is her mother, represented in this chart. And you can see how Moon and Mars are very close to each other. And the fourth house is the father, represented by Venus. And you can see how there's been a lot of conflict with her father. Her moon is in a sign that squares her Venus. Sorry if this is if this is complicated, don't worry about it. Also, Saturn can be the father, moon square Saturn. Yeah. Yeah. So she's had a lot of tense relationships with her father. Yeah. Yeah. And she's also moon trine Neptune in the fifth house of children. She's adopted children from, from war, who've been refugees themselves in terms of war. So yeah, you can see all of this in her chart. Yeah, did I want to say anything else about her? Yeah. I think that's clear. Does anybody have any questions or want to put any input about Angelina Jolie or anything you see in this chart?
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
I thought the moon was reflected your mother and the sun reflected your father.
The moon reflects your mother. The moon has to do with mothering and nurturing. The sun and or Saturn can be involved, can reflect the father. But in your chart, everyone in your life is represented in your chart in some way. So the fourth house ruler and any planets in the fourth house can speak to your father. The 10th house ruler and any planets in the 10th house can speak to the relationship with your mother. The 7th house ruler and any planets in the 7th house can speak to your spouse. The 5th house and any planets in there can speak about the nature of your children, especially your firstborn child. Yeah, and the 3rd house and planets in can speak around the siblings, and especially your it's a technique called derived houses. You can look to every single one of your siblings, and it gets a little bit more complicated, but
okay, so I got a question. So my sun is in my 10th house.
Okay.
My moon is in my 4th house. So my sun is Gemini, my moon is Sag.
Yeah.
So how does that work with sun, moon, and then the houses? Because it's kind of like it's reversed, right? Like,
yeah, well, let's make
sure
to look at your chart when we get to that, and then I can talk about that.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
Yeah, so you can think about, so with Angelina Jolie, we know her father left. Uranus breaks things. When she was a young child, her parents got divorced. Although Uranus in your 4th house could also be like you just moved, or there was some kind of upheaval. There's some kind of thing that happened in childhood, and often it can be related to the father. Chiron in her 10th house, we can think about like maybe how she saw her mother potentially as wounded as well. Yeah. So I would imagine her mother was very fiery. She has her moon in Aries, and Mars is her 10th house ruler, and they're together. So very close relationship. Any other questions or comments? Great. Yeah, so let me just talk a little bit about the Moon Mastery Program. So this is my signature program, and it's a tool for self-discovery and manifesting with more ease. So it's interactive. You can take either the 6-week class or the 12-week class, and I teach live on Zoom. It's interactive. There's a VIP community where people can talk amongst themselves. You have the option if you want a study buddy to work together with. And you'll learn some of the basics of astrology through the lens of the moon everything about the moon phases and eclipses and whatnot, and get to experience astrology in action. And there are two key pillars of it, understanding your moon, understanding the people around you, your loved ones and whatnot, to just have a deeper connection with your own personality and other people's, and how you need to be nurtured, how they need to be nurtured, like bringing the subconscious to light. So uncovering things about your talents as well as your blind spots, understanding cosmic compatibility, and then using the moon phases in order to plan and move your life forward and take action, is the second pillar, where you'll get a framework for intention setting and create your own personal action plan for success. So why learning astrology is fun, it's insightful. You can really pivot from seeking outside validation to trusting your inner wisdom even more than you already do when you connect with the moon and her phases and your natal moon and the transit moon and all of this kind of stuff. And really, it's a flashlight to slice through the shadows. Yeah. And working with the moon cycles can help you reduce stress. I found really big benefit from working with the moon has been a reduction in stress, increase in joy, achieve goals. I used the moon cycles and phases to retire early from my corporate career by taking, bite-sized chunks and planning, using the cycles to bring my dreams to life. Yeah. And building better relationships. Astrology is the language of compassion. You understand yourself so much better, as well as other people, once you understand how our natal chart, this imprint, this cosmic imprint, impacts our whole life, our personality, and the timing of things. Yeah. So this is a syllabus for 101, and you can see this on the, I'm going to drop in the comments section. Chat. Oh, yes, Patty, I'm super excited for you in class as well. Yes. Yeah. So, oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy, Valerie. Okay. Yeah. So I dropped the link so you can go and find out more about the class and sign up if you want to take it. I'd love to have you there. And all of the syllabus is online, so you can see that. And this is 201. So diving deeper. So 101, if that's all you want, just to understand how to understand your moon and understand the phases, you can just take just that one, or you can take both. And really get into the deeper things like advanced lunar planning, as well as understanding the progressed moon and progressed moon phases and whatnot. Yeah. So, but by the end of the course, you'll have a new perspective to make more conscious decisions and improve your relationships and achieving your goals in life, plus a personalized frameworks. So some of the bonuses, you get this gorgeous set of these. So there's one for each sign of the moon. I love having these. You get the pictures and you can print them out on photo paper or whatever you want. And so this is the Pisces moon. And I put these up. I have a little moon altar. So it's always staying present with me what sign the moon is in, as well as you get ones for the different phases of the moon. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah. You can take 20% off a reading or coaching program. And you get a free Wise Skies digital calendar. So this will put all the transits as well as the moon, what sign the moon is in, what phases on your phone or desktop or what have you. And the bonus, Procyon is a fixed star that it's about like opportunities that are timed where you can take some quick action. So the first 10 students, and there's still room to get this free Ask Me Anything. It's an $80 value where you'll give me your birth information and I will tape a little video about you for you where you can ask me anything about your natal chart or whatever. Yeah. So that's the fast action bonus. So the doors are open now. You can, if you just want to take the first 6-week class, it's $440 or 2 payments of $260. 201 is typically $530 or 2 payments of $300. But if you sign up for both, you get both for $800. So 12 weeks of learning live, interactive, community with a community, 800 or 3 payments of 300. So I hope to see you there. Also, my new moon guide is available for Libra, Sagittarius, and Scorpio seasons. And this is a great book of astrology of the moon for diving deeper into your moon sign by house, as well as it's one of the recommended books for Moon Mastery. And it's by Amy Herring. And I use Solar Fire software. And if you want to purchase the software, you can use my discount code at alave.com, Celeste15. Okay. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Are there any questions about Moon Mastery or anything I presented so far? Yes, Courtney, I'm so excited that you're in the class. Yes, a grace.
I'm looking about it.
Yes.
I saw that there's a community. So I'm not on Facebook, and I know a lot of times Facebook is like where you do the community, like so is there a separate forum or?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
use the Kajabi platform. So it's a private forum in Kajabi where you can make comments and discussion. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, oh, darn, I'll probably miss it because I was like, I'm not getting on Facebook. So, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Let me look at this comments. Oh, good. Okay. Girl Interrupted. Thank you. That was the movie where she was, where she was in the mental institution. Yeah. Oh, someone has Catalina. She's birthday is the same day. Oh, okay, Megan, you didn't get a snapshot in time. I'll put it back up. Let me see. Okay. Okay, Megan, give you a second to take your snapshot. Okay, hopefully, and if not, you can just watch the recording and take your snapshot. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Thank you so much. I got it.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay. Now, any other questions? Oh, and yeah, you'll have the recordings for life, and you'll get the slide decks in Moon Mastery. Yeah, and you get some homework and such. Okay. So now I don't have my assistant today, so you're just going to need to give me your birth information and I'll pull you up. So I'd like to do the person who asked me about their sun in the 4th, and was that Gypsy?
Yeah, it's Gemini. It's Creen. Gemini, Creen Havel. It's Gemini Gypsy. So June 3rd, 1966.
Uh-huh.
Lucky Lake, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Lucky Lake, Canada. Okay, Lucky. What time?
10:15 a.m.
Okay, June 3rd, 1966, 10:15 a.m.
Mhm.
I hope I spelled your name right, but it's not.
Oh, probably not. It's Kareen. So no.
I did not, but you know who you are.
Yeah, I know who I am.
Okay, let me take off the asteroids just to keep it simple. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So you're a sun in Gemini and a moon in Sagittarius. So the first thing that jumps out at me when I see this is you were born at the full moon.
Yes.
So yeah. So you are a big part of your life is you're here to be in relationship or learn through relationships with other people. When the sun and the moon are opposite each other, you're born during the light phase, and it's a big part of your life. And you're in these two signs, like Gemini about communication and Sagittarius about expansion and growth. Have you felt that in your life, that relationships are a big part of your story?
Yeah, like I've been a teacher for, well, I'm retired now, 30 some years. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's my, relationships with, the community, the kids, other teachers.
Yeah. And you can think about, okay, so the moon represents mother, like we talked about, and you have moon square Pluto and square Chiron. So you can think about like the intensity of your relationship with your mother, or the intensity of, maybe your emotional responses. You have moon square Pluto and Uranus. Are you psychic?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Because in mine, those are in the second house, not the first house. I guess they're still like they're in Virgo, but the second house. So I don't know.
What house system?
On Astro, or what do you use?
I use Placidus. So
so that would be the difference.
Yeah, if you're using whole sign houses, or whole sign houses, they would be in the second house. So you can think about how you experience the Uranus Pluto conjunction. Is it about you, your personality, how people perceive you? The first house, it speaks to like your vitality. It's called, like the mask we wear, and all that kind of stuff. Would you say you're a bit eccentric, or have people told you that sometimes they find you intimidating?
Yeah, I think I am intimidating for some people because I also have Leo rising. So like, I'm actually surprised that people haven't said to me, "Oh, you only have one color in your hair today?" Oh, okay. Like, and I'm 6'2" as well. So I'm larger than life. I wear colorful clothes and everything matches. And so I think that I think that has caused problems because people are intimidated by me, even though I'm not an in-your-face person. Like, when people know me, they know that I'm not like, you shouldn't be intimidated by me. But I think that does make a lot of sense, because those two I thought were in my second house. So I thought it was about values and money, but this actually makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I really think, there's been this push with traditional astrologers or Hellenistic to use the whole house system, but it's a long conversation. But anyway, I think the whole house it's not a house, it's whole signs. So, but the houses are really important. They speak about where the action takes place. So think about your father, and think about, Scorpio's on the sign is the sign. So is your father intense?
Yeah.
Was he was he absent in some ways? How is he Neptunian? Because the closer.
Well, I wouldn't say he was absent. I mean, when we were growing up, we worked in the farm. So yeah, he wasn't in the house that much, right? Because he was working, but he was a hard ass, in my opinion. So that's, yeah. And I always thought of him as like prickly. You know what I mean? Like
Mars.
That's kind of how that's how I kind of felt about him, even though he was a softie, I think, as I like got older. But as a kid, I always thought of him as like hard ass, prickly. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so think about your moon being in Sagittarius, being in a house that has some water nature to it. And you can think about the relationship with think about Moon square Pluto and Uranus and Chiron, how that, like, think about your mother's story as well with that, or some things to think about.
Yeah. Like my mom, I'd say got along with her pretty good, but the Sag, like she was loud. Well, she's still loud. Yeah. Like that's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Loud.
Yeah. Well, let me keep going. I want to do as many people as possible. So, but I hope that gave you some insights.
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Who is next? Okay, Catherine.
Hi.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Oh, good. What's your birth info?
It's oh my God, December 29th, 1969, and it's Binghamton, New York.
Okay.
6:15 a.m. It should be in there.
You're right.
From a long time ago, or a while ago.
I'll just put it back in. 6. Okay, December 29th, 1969, 6:15 a.m., Binghamton.
Yeah, Binghamton. Binghamton. Bingham.
Okay, I think I got it right.
I can't see what you're typing in, so I can't tell you if you're.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Okay, is that your 18 Sag rising? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, so you have your sun and your moon are both in earth signs. So you have your sun you have your sun in Capricorn and your moon in Virgo, but they're in fire houses.
Right. So, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah. Do you feel like that moon in the 9th house?
Well, this is kind of the first I've heard about it, because also it came to my attention that, like, you know, I have that Sagittarius rising, which is Jupiter. Then I have like my moon in a Jupiter house. And like I haven't been really leaning into my fire all that much actually lately, and I'm trying to work on that. But it's just like, I know that there's some kind of like mystery here, like a connection with all this Jupiter energy and the Sagittarius like house, and then the Sagittarius rising, and like,
yeah. So think about, like, do you exercise?
Yes. Okay. Like every day, hot power yoga. Oh,
good. Think about also maybe like just getting out and walking in nature can be a great way to stimulate that Sagittarius energy. Or even, you know, breaking a sweat. Well, you said like hot power yoga.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous, especially in Florida, because they heat the room, but it's also hot as hell in here, you know, up in this joint, like all the time. So it's like you sweat just walking in the room.
Yeah. So. But I would say, from what I know about you, that moon in the 9th house, you're very interested in people who are different than you.
Oh, 100%.
you very are connected into exploring things, and as well about there's this connection with you about like justice and people being mistreated and things like that. And that also speaks to like Virgo, the being of service or caring about helping other people. So you can think about how that's part of your moon story.
Yes. I mean, my business is mostly like helping people manifest their lives through their interiors. So it's like kind of spatial alchemy. And that's like really lights me up because I love being in these creative spaces. But like my side hustle always is like registering people for voting, or, like I have to, because I cannot stand like, the world we're living in right now, as you well know, like with all my stuff I send you. But the other question I had, and this is kind of like for everyone, like, even just on the live, so many people were talking about how they knew where things were going to get hit with like the, upcoming eclipses or whatever. How do they know that? How do you know what's transiting and like where the sky is and how it's activating your chart?
Yeah. So if you stay present with where all the planets are, either through some software, or you can always go to astro.com if you don't have a software. And let me pull this over. It's a free site. Every day they're always these are always posted where all the planets are. That can inform you. If you just know, if you have my free guide, where in the back of my guide, it has what all the lunations are, the new moons, first quarter, full moons, and last quarter, and it says which ones are the eclipses. So the next coming eclipse on October 25th is going to be at 2 Scorpio. So for you, this is going to be right to your Jupiter in your 10th house. Opposite your Saturn. So you are going to be very activated by this next eclipse. So I want you to really stay present about things in terms of Jupiter. Jupiter rules things like wealth, how you expand, and all of that kind of stuff. Opposite Saturn, think about like controlled expansion, like not, I don't know if you're big on taking big risks or
not really.
Okay, good.
I'm kind of a coward in that regard.
Yeah. And you have, and you're a Sag rising. So this next one could be very important for you. And about yourself, like a new start or a new beginning could be coming in work or about yourself. Why
did you say that? Because of Sag?
Well, you are Sag rising. So Jupiter rules rules your whole chart, and you're having an eclipse to your Jupiter. So that could be about your physical vitality. So you want to make sure you're really taking good care of yourself. It sounds like you are, because you do hot yoga every day. So but your identity, you might want to do some changes in your brand. A new start about your brand. Okay, let me
thank you.
You're welcome. Let me do as many as I can. Okay, Marianella, I see you're next. I know I have you in here.
And you have me in there. Hi.
Hi.
And I always enjoy like when you speak about anything, but like these kind of moon ones really, really get to me. And I always like listening what other people are doing, because I'm really super nosy and I live by myself. So so I just kind of love how this stuff really does work out. It's kind of like, there we go.
Why am I not finding you?
September 20th.
Let me try one more time. There you. Yep, I found you. Can you see you?
It's not sharing yet.
Okay.
There we are.
Okay. Yes, Miss Virgo Stellium, and it's Virgo season. Yes, you're in your element. So your moon is in Gemini, and you are someone, you talk. You really talk, you articulate your feelings very easily and quickly and with wit and with wit, and you really need to understand how things work. Were you the kid who asked why?
Oh my God. Still to this day, my mom tells me to be quiet. Still, I've always been the why. Like, why? Because of why. So when you said that, yeah, I was that kid. I'm still that kid.
Yeah. Well, see how close to your moon is to your midheaven?
Yeah.
So it's essentially in your 10th house. So there's like an earthiness to your moon. So aren't you a project manager?
Yeah, I pretty much, yeah. I kind of tend to run things even when, yeah.
So that's like the solving the problems and emotionally, like figuring out what's behind it and how to solve it.
Yeah.
Is emotionally how you feel safe, nurtured. It's something you need in your life. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I do need to be the one to figure things out. I cannot leave that to other people.
Yeah. Now, a big thing what going on for you right now is that this Mars retrograde, Mars is right at your midheaven right now.
Yeah.
So Mars can energize you, but you want to watch your energy over the next couple of months, because Mars is going to go retrograde from October 30th through January 12th. So you may find that you have to do things twice or 3 times. So watch out for frustration, especially in work and such.
Okay.
Yeah. It also can like have to do with family stuff. Like the 4th house is opposite the 10th house. Like,
yeah, you were talking about somebody's dad earlier. I'm like, yeah, he's, yeah. And so he's something I worry about all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it was interesting. You were saying it's either, it can be the sun or it could be Saturn. And like Saturn, I think, I forgot where is Saturn in my chart, but sometimes I feel Saturn is up there just like.
So Saturn and Taurus. So you can think about, especially when you're looking at personal planets. Let me see. Think about your father. So he's represented by Jupiter because he's a 4th house ruler in Scorpio. Is he intense and kind of dogmatic, kind of my way or the highway?
Definitely.
Yeah. And also probably very stubborn. I mean, that's Saturn here.
Like a mule.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hope that helps. And when you think about the rulers, they're really important in activations. Like when your Jupiter is activated by transit, something could be going on with your father, kind of thing. Yeah, that's a little bit more advanced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Did you have any other questions?
No, it's just that kind of like made me want to ask about him and that kind of situation. So that's really interesting when something's happening with Jupiter.
Yeah, and like, so you as well. This eclipse in October is going to be to your Jupiter in the 3rd house. So that could be like something could come up around your father, or it could be something around 3rd house topics. where eclipses are like really important about what house they're in. So the third house is about your local community. There could be a new start where you expand yourself, maybe because you can get out and about now that COVID's not so bad. Like maybe you start speaking or doing something more interactive with the
I thought
community.
third house was also siblings.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of those.
Yeah, it could be something with one of your siblings too.
Yeah, and there is something going on with my parents this coming October. That there's it's a long time coming, and we're all kind of like in our feelings about it. So
yeah. Okay, it looks like, let me move on to Megan.
Thank you so much. I love you.
You're welcome. I hope that helps. Okay, Megan Easton, what is your birth information?
It is June 7th, 1986. I was born at 11:09 p.m. in Norman, Oklahoma.
Norman. Okay. Okay, and let me share my screen.
Also, I'm the Beautygram from Instagram.
Beautygram! Oh, I love you.
I know,
so
I love
nice.
you.
It's so nice to meet you in person. Yes. I always love your comments on Instagram. Okay, Beautygram, Megan.
I'm trying to learn.
Yes. Well, I love it. I love how you say, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you find it so interesting. And part of the reason is you're got so much Gemini energy. Your sun is in Gemini and your moon is in Gemini. So you're a curious person who likes to learn new things and just gather new information. Yeah. And emotionally, it fulfills you to learn stuff. Do you feel that?
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do? What do you do for work?
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Now, where did you come up with Beautygram? Like,
I don't know. I was just obsessed with makeup and the like.
Okay.
I planned on being I planned on trying to pursue a makeup career, but
okay.
Then COVID hit, so.
Well, you have your South Node in the sign of Libra. So the South Node speaks to like what are like it speaks to what is comfortable for us. Sometimes we're like acting out of the shadow sides of it, but it's what's in our talents lie in the South Node. And the North Node is a stretch. So one of the things about having a South Node in Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty. So that speaks to why you called yourself Beautygram. That's just like kind of who you are. You like balance and harmony and what not. Now, do you find that talking out when you're upset or anything that you need to talk about what you're feeling?
Oh yeah.
And do you have that why?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My husband is not great at communicating, and so that's a problem.
Well, it would be good to know what his moon sign is and how he needs to be
He's a
nurtured.
Libra. I just learned this.
A Libra
He's
sun?
a Libra moon. Aries sun.
So he falls across so his sun is in the same sign as your North Node and his moon is in the same sign as your South Node. Yeah, very interesting. So he's a full moon baby as well. So
is he?
yeah. So yeah. Well, if you ever want to come for a personal reading, we can talk about how you two can communicate better, or you can take Moon Mastery to learn as well. But you're a sun in Gemini, moon in Gemini, and Capricorn rising. Yeah. With a stationary Mars. Very interesting. So Mars and Capricorn, like how you take action or like being assertive. Have you always been assertive in your life?
You can say that.
Yeah. Is that the understatement of the year?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Mars was stopped in the sky when you were born. So this upcoming Mars retrograde, I want you to be very conscious about not being overreactive and understanding that you may feel a little bit more frustration or things. So how can you be more patient as this comes up? Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
wonderful.
will do.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the class, Elle. I'm so happy to see you joined. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's see.
And hi, Willow Spoon.
Yeah,
Okay.
Willow Spoon's here too. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Let's do Heather. See your hand is up.
Hi.
Hi. What is your birth
Oh,
information?
sorry, I had a moment of silence. 5/21/82, Whittier, California, 2:12 a.m.
All right. Whittier.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I spelled that right. Yes, I did. So May 21st, 1982. At
2:12 a.m.
Okay, got it. Let's look at your moon story. Okay. You've got a Taurus moon. So the
Yes.
moon is what's called exalted in the sign of Taurus. So that gives it kind of like a special seat at the table because, you know, the moon, this emotional body in an earth sign Taurus that's ruled by Venus. I mean, that's like it's a nice place for the moon. And your moon is also in your second house of resources. So you can think about, do sometimes you get into that scarcity mindset thinking there won't be enough or?
That's yep.
Yeah.
Always trying to like hustle and like just keep things like scurried away just in case. Like I'm a big collector of collectibles because in like the future I can sell them off if I need to.
Yeah. So having security is like so important for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you feel safe by having these things because you have a plan, that problem solving mode of the earth moon to like know what you could do if, there's ever an issue. And you as well have this Jupiter in Scorpio. We have a lot of people with Jupiter in Scorpio. So you're having eclipse to your Scorpio Jupiter in the 8th house of in what do you call it, on October 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, opposite your moon, and which rules your 5th house. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if you come into money unexpectedly.
Ooh, that is interesting because I have like 2 disability cases that got shot up to federal court, and I just got like a paperwork to fill out yesterday. Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, you might very well get some money from a settlement. Other people, the 8th house is the house of other people's money.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was wondering about those eclipses because my kid's moon is in my 8th house. He's a Scorpio moon at 2 degrees too. And I've always thought that was fascinating about our moons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Families have connections. So, I mean, you probably like just love that kid the minute you laid eyes on him. Jupiter.
Yeah, he's annoyed with me, but
She's annoyed with you? Well,
he's annoyed with me. Yeah. He's a Sagittarius sun. I'm too slow for him.
Jupiter moon connections are really beautiful. Like, it's like there's just this expansive love where you could just like emotionally, the other person, especially, like, can make you feel really safe and cared for. even though,
Mm.
having Scorpio moon, it's the sign of fall, like there can be a little bit intensity, but it's beautiful that you both have that.
Thank you.
How old is your kid?
He's 11.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what new beginning happens for him. It may all be emotionally internal, since it's on his moon, but
That will be
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so Catalina.
Hi.
Hi.
Date of birth would be June 4th, 1988.
Okay.
Bogota, Colombia.
Ah. Do you still live there?
Yes, I live in Bogota.
I
Yes.
love it. What time?
4:15 a.m.
I love when people come from all over the world.
Yeah, like, people watch you from so many different places, and like it is fun always to interact people from different cultures. It's so much fun.
Yes, yeah. So does this look right? 21 Taurus rising?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're having this is a big year for you because
Yes.
the North Node is in Taurus and the eclipses are bouncing back and forth between Taurus and Scorpio. Yourself, the first house,
Mm-hmm.
and the partner, the seventh house. So are you married, or what's your story?
I'm in a relationship. It's a long distance relationship, but the connection is crazy. We met 3 years ago, and like this year he was like, you know what? I want to try having a relationship with you. I'm not gonna let distance keep on like pushing us apart. We're going through a difficult situation right now because we are apart and we want to close the distance. But yeah, we love each other very much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so you have your moon in Aquarius.
Yes.
And it's in the ninth house, which to me says like having a relationship with someone who could be of a different culture
Mm-hmm.
or in a distance place from you. Like how far away from you is he or she?
He lives in the States, actually.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And
So-
he is an Aquarius sun and a Pisces moon.
okay. So
Yeah.
the thing that just jumps out at me about this, eclipses are times of great beginnings and endings.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're having this eclipse coming up on October 25th. And so it may not happen on the day, but see how the sun and the moon are at 2 Scorpio and Venus. So Venus is the planet of relationships. It's in a square activating your moon in the ninth house. So are you thinking of moving, or is he thinking of moving? Yeah, this could be, it could be related to this eclipse season where you decide that you want to be closer to each other. So this is in your sixth house. So there may be some feelings of burden or difficulties or hard work to get to, to make it happen. But it looks like that could be one of your stories coming about your eclipse season, and that's coming up. Yeah. And Jupiter in your house of hopes and dreams, and it can totally see you moving a long distance in order to like pursue this relationship. Could be part of the story.
Yes, that's what we've been trying to do. The thing is that I had my tourist visa appointment back in July, but I got denied. So we've been trying to look for different opportunities, maybe a scholarship or a job opportunity or anything that would allow me to at least go visit him for a month or something, because I'm a teacher. So I work online. I do online teaching mostly.
Uh-huh.
But we are looking for different opportunities that could allow us to be together, because that connection that we have, not has like, he's divorced, he's older than I am, and he's like, I've never felt this connection with anybody, not even my ex-wife. And in my case, I feel the same. I've never felt so connected to anybody. So we're like, this is worth fighting for, and we want to make it happen.
Okay, well, keep trying. So Mercury's going retrograde. So how long ago was your visa denied?
That was like 3 months ago in July.
Okay, I try again.
7th.
Keep trying. Mercury retrograde, something that didn't work. Maybe it'll work this time.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, hi Courtney. I'm so excited you're taking the class.
Me too. I cannot wait to dive in. I have so many questions. So
Oh, good.
and you are just so insightful about the moon, and I'm just so my birthday is 9/27/89.
I have you in here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll pull it up. Let me share my
And I feel like last time we spoke, like, oh my gosh, was that like a year ago or something?
Probably.
I just feel it's been some wild times now. So
and you have a Virgo moon, and I think the sun is on your moon today. So perfect timing. And it's like Marianella, it's right at your midheaven. So it's in the basically in your 10th house, and you can think about, like, are you big on like problem solving mode? And
oh yeah, like I just have like such a project management mind in anything I do.
Yep. I can totally feel it. And yeah, this is an interesting time for you as well with the Mercury retrograde. So
because I was born during a Mercury retrograde. Like
okay.
I think my natal Mercury is retrograde.
Let's see. Yes, your Mercury is at 29 degrees of Virgo. So it's really important. It's that's the last degree of the sign. And when we have a planet there, it's important. And it's retrograde. So it's like you think differently. And Mercury's Virgo is a sign where Mercury's at home. Mercury's very comfortable in Virgo. So you have the ability to really organize and separate the wheat from the chaff and all of that kind of stuff. Like you have a talent to do that kind
and like
of
I
stuff.
mean, I feel like the other thing too is like I mean what I say. Like I feel like a lot of people, it's like that whole like you can't handle the truth, like how a lot of people can't really handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm somebody who speaks from the heart and with like truth and integrity. And that's something that's not really a normal thing in these wild times that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems so different, but to me, I'm just like, this is like clear as day.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Precision. When you speak with precision. Like you said, exactly what you say is what you mean, and what you say is what you get. And do you struggle though sometimes with anxiety or just like being too perfectionistic?
Yeah, I definitely, I think it's limited me from like where so many times I'm like, I feel like I need like a PhD in whatever I'm doing to then like speak to anybody about it, right? Where I'm like, people are out here just read one article and feel like they're an expert, where I'm like, oh no, like I need to have trained 10,000 hours to like confidently like call myself an expert in this, or to like speak to something else, or but I'm finding like that's really holding me back a lot.
Yes. So one thing that we can work on is you leaning into your Jupiter in Cancer. Your Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. And how can you trust that you know enough? So like exercises to like lift yourself out of the overanalysis and learn to lead into more of trusting your intuition when you have enough of the information. Jupiter is like the big picture stuff, and your sun is in a square with Jupiter. So there's like and so is your Mars. So there's like this tension, but I think a big thing for you with that, you know, Moon in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, is knowing when to stop gathering more information or learning more, and learning to lean more into your intuition. Yeah, you've got this T square. So like probably some things you just know things too with
Yeah, like I can't explain it. Like I can't like cite, like, you know, people are like, well, where's the data? And I'm like, I don't know. Like this, it's like I can clearly, it's just, yeah, that comes up a lot.
Yeah, you've got your Sun square Uranus, so like just like things, you just know things, and your Moon is trying it as well. So yeah, like learning to trust your intuition, learning to trust when you know enough. You're a Scorpio rising, so you really do delve into the depths to really pull up all the information and all the knowledge. And yeah, I think that's going to be a key word for you to think about, like trusting.
Well, I will write that down and make sure I'm diving into that with the classes. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
Hey, Celeste, before you go on, can you just tell me in Courtney's chart, what was it that was causing her to like have that like need to gather more information than probably necessary to feel like she was
That's
Sure.
Virgo energy. So there can be an over analysis paralysis, like just this endless need to get more, like more and more and more and more facts, and this perfectionism, so that, you know, you can, and I have a South Node in Virgo, so I know what I speak. A big transformative thing in my life was learning the Pisces North Node, which is ruled by Jupiter, to trust your intuition and take some risks that you know enough, that you've done the work. It's just like been life-changing.
Because I have that same as you, like the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, but like, so any Virgo placements could cause that. It's not because she had Mercury and her Moon. It's just any kind of big placements there.
Yeah. Strong Virgo energy is is that. Yes. Okay. Elle, it looks like you're next.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, I'm so excited that you're taking the class.
Me too. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Birthday, February 13th, 1977.
Okay.
In Kansas City, Kansas. And the time is 11:05 p.m.
Okay. Let's see. So February 13th, 77, 11:05 p.m. So you're a Libra rising. Of course you are. Like I can really feel it. Yes. With the sun in Aquarius. Yes. And your Moon in Capricorn. Okay. So your Moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. So there's this like real deep desire, people with Moon and Capricorns, to be useful. Have you felt that in your life?
Of course.
Yeah, to be of use, and there's this ambition, desire to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's in your third house. So communication is really important. So do you feel like a need to talk about your emotions plus like the problem solving earth stuff too?
I do a lot of problem solving. As far as my own emotions, not really. I definitely would say that I'm detached.
That's that air energy. So the Moon is technically in what's called detriment in Capricorn, because it's at home in Cancer. So it's the opposite sign. So there is this, there's work to be done to like connect with your emotions that I think will really help you in taking the course. to connect into, so that you can like try to move away from that detachment
Mhm.
and into like feeling more of the emotions.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have any water energy in your chart except for Uranus in your first house, but you do have your Sun, Mars, and Mercury in like a water house. So I think it'll be really helpful for you to connect into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Great.
thank you.
Yeah. And I see it looks like Raina. I think I have you in here.
Hi, yeah, you do. Or hopefully you
Let
from
me see.
a while back.
Oh, it didn't come up. All right. It's Rayna, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, for whatever reason, it's not coming up. Let me put you in real quick.
Okay. 6177.
So June 1, 1977. What time?
1:02 p.m.
And where?
I'll spell it out. So it's two words. The first word is east, and the second word is PATCHOGUE.
Uh-oh. PAT what?
CHOGUE. New
How do you
York.
even say
Patchogue.
that? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I have learned to just spell it out.
Yes, no kidding. Yeah. Okay. So let me share. So here you are, Sun in Gemini, Virgo rising, Moon in Sagittarius, another full moon. Yeah, and I can totally feel that with you. And your interest in the law. You have Mercury, the Sun and Jupiter all in the 9th house, although the Sun and Jupiter are really really more associated with the 10th house, but really having a lot of interest in legal affairs and the law, as well as, again, with like maybe people in other cultures and things like that. Your moon is in the 3rd house in a fire sign. So fire and air is inspirational. And isn't your business helping people grow?
Yes.
Like emotionally connecting to their
Yeah,
money?
I mean, so like all of your resources, your time, energy, money, body, mind, and soul.
I love that. That is a Sagittarius moon in an air house, and Pluto right on your 2nd house of values, resources, money. Like, you feel called to help people transform basically like their relationship with their resources, right?
Yeah. I mean, so much of it based on my own life experience too.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And let's see what else is going on. Mars is in. I love it. Mars. I wonder if when Mars was on your Sun Mars is coming up to your Sun, but didn't you recently just redo your website?
Yep.
Yeah. So you felt this push with Mars. Did it happen after Mars went into Gemini?
I knew Mars was going into Gemini, so I was really planning for that. I think I'm trying to remember officially when I like hit the publish button. I know I was trying to time the energy. If it wasn't on it, it was like right around it.
Yeah. And look at today. Mars is opposite your moon. You're talking to an astrologer. Astrology falls in the 9th house. Yeah. About your mood. I mean, It could be more literal. Astrology can be really literal. Yeah. Yeah. So, great. I hope that helps.
Yeah. I'm just curious with the upcoming eclipses, like
Mhm.
what that's gonna hit.
So
And
the in your the solar eclipse, and this is where there's like new starts, is in your second house. So like this can be great. Like I think it's already started with you. Didn't you start a Patreon?
yeah.
So
Mhm.
you're making a new income source of money.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what you're doing. And Uranus here, you may like something surprising may come in, or a new influx of money may start unexpectedly or something like that. But
I will take that.
I think this is the story of you starting the Patreon and getting a new, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, Mars is at the top of your midheaven. It's going to be going retrograde. So there may be some like frustrations, or you need to change things or redo things, but just, you know, kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My Virgo rising's working on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's very hard for a Virgo rising to go with the flow.
She gets a little hyperventilated every now and again, but it's all good.
But honor that Virgo rising.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Unfortunately, Terry, I skipped over Terry. Let me do Terry. And then I'm gonna have to do everybody at the next one. Oh, hi, Amy and Simeon and Carl. I'm so sorry. I've run out of time. But I'll get you next time. Okay, Terry. What's your
Hi there. Oh, I might be in there. It's been a while, but I can give it to you here. It's July 17, 1960. And, you know, I'm pretty sure it's 2:54 a.m. In San Francisco, California. And I can confirm that.
Okay.
Yes, 2:54 a.m. That's correct.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, so you are a Sun in Cancer, a Gemini rising, and your moon is in Taurus.
Taurus.
Okay, yeah. So a Taurus moon's really nice. Now your moon is next to Mars. So like Angelina Jolie, did you recognize any of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
a little fiery here.
Yeah, a little emotion that when their planets are conjunct, the energies merge. So like watching out for impulsivity is something you probably had to do your whole life, and you've learned through it, especially because your moon is in the 12th house of there can be an element of, with a moon in the 12th house, like it took you time to maybe connect with your emotions.
Right.
Yes. Like it wasn't easy.
It took a while.
Yeah, it's kind of locked up there. Yeah. But that a Taurus moon is a beautiful thing to have. And it's yeah. So you can think about how you can keep yourself grounded, and through problem solving, or through recognizing you have that moon Mars connection. So not not pushing
overreacting.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's something I still have to work on. That's very hot-headed there.
And so the eclipses are bouncing back and forth. There's going to be a lunar eclipse on November 8th, election day, around right at 17 Taurus. So it's going to be right near your moon Mars. So I want you to really stay present emotionally with what's going on with yourself at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there may be a desire to release an old story. And just, just watch out for reactivity around then, especially because your moon squares Uranus. So yeah, keeping that in mind, that, and your Mars squares Uranus. So yeah,
So
are you accident prone at all, or just
no,
okay,
I think I react quickly.
reactive? Yeah.
Yeah. And though I really do work on it
Okay.
considerably. I have 2 kids with ADD and one with also autism, and so working with them, of course, has really helped me control myself and work on myself. And of meditation, been in the spiritual world for since I could remember. So it's been a road, but clearly I know that there's other things that are driving those impulses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope
And
that
how just a quick question about
Yeah.
the eclipse coming up in October,
yes.
and how that might be affecting, because that's real close and nearby.
Okay, so it's going to be at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and it's going to square your Venus. So
Okay.
there could be something about Venus and Leo in your 3rd house. There could be something about a sibling. There could be something about, and it's going to be near your Neptune. So you want to, whenever there are eclipses in your 6th house, you want to just pay extra attention to your health and daily life. So doing whatever you can to support routines and rituals to support your well-being. If anything comes up, just go to the doctor. Squaring your Venus, it could be something about a sibling or something in your neighborhood, but yeah, there's likely to be some kind of new start.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just see how it materializes.
Okay.
Or something with a woman. Yeah, Venus and Leo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the neighborhood that can be a little squirrely. So
yeah. Watch for things in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, I'd stay over, but I have an appointment. Unfortunately, I have to run to. So on Tuesday, I'll stay later to get, Antoinette, Carla, Simeon, and Amy. I'm sorry I didn't get to you yet. I'll make sure to do you on Tuesday. If you're able to come. So,
Thanks,
but thank you so much, everyone,
Thank
for coming.
This is always wonderful. Very, very helpful.
Oh, good. Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Celeste.
Yeah, I'll send
Thank
the
you.
recording out later tonight or tomorrow at the latest.
Thanks.
Great.